listening to it is almost feels like my skin is like being stretched slowly off of my body. Like that's how it feels to me when I listen to it.
I get the skin thing.
Yeah, right?
Hey y'all, welcome to Clove Room and welcome to another video of Clovemas. This one is especially special and I'm sure y'all are going to love it because my dear friend Hope Miss Tom is here to build a playlist with me.
Woo!
Oh my god. And this is actually the second part of the playlist building. The first part is up on Tom's channel right now, so probably go watch that first and then come back here to watch us finish the playlist. Everyone say hi to Tom.
Hi, thank you so much for the warm welcome. Thank you for having me on your channel. I feel like I need to like bring my volume down over here. I need, because you're very like soothing, and people say I'm soothing and then I'm like clucking like a chicken and screaming, and I don't know how people find me soothing at all.
I don't think I'm soothing, am I?
Oh, you're I mean, not to spill personal tea, but like I know what you're like not on your channel. You know what I mean? It's like we see a different side of each other.
I like to think I'm the best version of myself on my channel.
And I would agree.
Excellent.
Anyway, are you gonna tell them who I am?
They know who you are. Half of them are here because of you. But Tom, has a YouTube channel. You might have heard of it. It's called Hope Mess Tom, and they do stuff over there.
I do so many things. I don't do much, but I do some and a little bit, maybe some.
They navigate the beauty space, is what they do.
And there's only one thing that I am doing. It is navigating the beauty space, and we all are.
Even though they do not have a car and they do not drive, they are navigating the beauty space.
Have you heard of hiking, babes? I walk everywhere. And you know that?
Yes.
You know that song by Melanie? I got a brand new pair of roller skates. You got a brand new key. You know how she says she's gonna rollerblade all across the world?
No, you're the urban hiker of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is amazing. I loved it.
I loved Pittsburgh. It. It's a great place.
It's amazing.
I love Pittsburgh too. I didn't always love Pittsburgh, but I do now, which is great.
So, do we need to do any other intro, or can we get into the playlist?
We can get to the playlist. I guess you should you start? Because I started on the other one.
No,
but now it would be two
like
of your songs.
Start. Yeah.
No. Okay. For all of those of you who found Cam not through me, get your minds ready to be blown. You're in for a wild ride, for a good time. This is actually going to be like the happier portion of my playlist. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right? Okay, you can't.
And for those who, for some reason, did not watch part one, we are building an alternating playlist, and the theme of it is like songs that get us through winter.
Yes. Well, mine's a mood. Well, I took a different approach. This song, No One's Gonna Know. This is by Leslie Hunt.
Oh my god. Of course it is. Sorry.
I want you to know that I did not pick any Marina songs for this playlist because I was like,
okay.
Exactly. Oh. So put some respect on my name.
Still open. Absolutely, always.
This one has way more lore than any of the other ones. Imagine this. Imagine that. Season 6 of American Idol. Your favorite contestant's Leslie Hunt. She gets kicked off. You connect through MySpace. You kind of become buddies. And as she releases music, she mails you an early copy of her album, signs it, and then I got invited to her release party, and I went to Chicago to the release party. And this song was actually, there's like a piano version on like a thing that she did. And the piano version is my preferred one, but I put the one from the album because it is like a more well-rounded experience. Like you get the pop vibes in it. And I would also say that this song is not sad, but I wouldn't say it's like the happiest song, but it's like, it's like a really good vibe. It's just a vibe, but it is like very late aughts pop, like because it's an independent artist. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's like, there were limitations with money and what could be done. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like
that would be shocking if you were saying it was bad.
Of course I'm not saying it's bad because it's one of my favorite songs in the whole I wrote. It gives me goosebumps every time I listen to it, especially the bridge, which we're not going to get to while we're like sitting here and kiki and listening to it. But the bridge of the song is so beautiful, and Leslie's voice is like deep and husky, which I like. That's like, I love a woman with a low voice. I like Katie from Muna, like I love that like tonal quality. And you really get that
Mhm.
from Leslie. And she's so pretty, and I just love her.
Has she released new music?
She released music in 2021, and I am familiar. Like I still listen to it, and I was part of the Kickstarter campaign.
I bet you were.
Of course, I was. I mean, I didn't have that much money to be like the top donor, but someone donated like thousands of dollars to make that happen. And that was not me, unfortunately, but I was there.
But now with all that Surratt PR money or affiliate money.
What's going on with Surratt? Can we talk about it?
Yeah, what? You have the contact.
I mean, I haven't reached out, but it does seem like
Well.
something's happening.
Anyway, I'm gonna listen to the song.
Yeah, you should.
And you can talk about Surratt more if you want.
No, it's okay. We'll talk about Leslie. I saw, and then when I lived in Chicago, I was her intern for a bit. It was like a whole thing. We did a whole it was a
Intern?
whole- yeah, her PR intern.
Paid?
Yeah, it was.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't work many hours, but it was paid. We're back to Lilith Fair vibes. We started with Lilith Fair vibes. We're a little bit back there.
Very much of the era. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Very
it's like
indie pop.
very indie pop. I listen to so much indie pop. And it all sounds like that. Like it all just kind of sounds like that.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. I love Leslie. She
We
did a
love her.
really sad divorce album, and that also really great for the winter. I love leaning into the general malaise. I don't know if you guys
by
caught on.
fire and listen to a woman's divorce album.
Cue them up. Like a little s'more.
Well,
Shall you share your next song?
yes. So my next
Will
song
I
is
know
actually
it?
no. Do you listen to Hannah Diamond?
I'm familiar.
It's a Hannah Diamond song, and you're not gonna believe this. I related to being trans. It's called Lip Sync. It's from her album
Oh,
Perfect
right.
Picture. What?
No, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait.
So this album in general is like so excellent and underrated. It's very much like in that positive pop sphere. It's so interesting because it has a lot of like themes about technology and being online, but it's kind of like using that as a way to be happy, which is interesting. And this song specifically, it's sort of like, do you know in the beginning of Lizzie McGuire, where she like the Lizzie McGuire movie where she's like lip syncing with her little microphone and it's like the tide is, it's like narrating that as a song. So it's basically talking about how like when you're in your room and you're like lip syncing to a song and you really want to be somebody, telling the story of like you doing that in your actual life. So pretending to be who you actually want to be. And then maybe one day you'll be the real thing, which I relate a lot to being trans.
Yeah.
And yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like lip sync till I start believing, daydreams till I stop pretending. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of like how visualizing and putting in positive thoughts help you achieve your goals. Not that either of us do that, but if we did.
I'm a very positive person.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they call that's what they call me, a positive person.
Positive Mess Tom, yeah. Your alternative channel name. It's a really good song, and the album in general is very, very good as well, and I quite like it.
I'm gonna hit play. I think I've listened to some of this album. I wasn't expecting the accent.
She's British.
Not everyone sings with a British accent, though. Oh. If it was the year like 2001, this would be like a DDR song.
And like one thing about the album is this actually was an album I found because of my ex who was mentioned in the first part too.
Right. And we love him. We
really do. We really do.
We love
Good friend.
him.
Good friend.
Also my good friend.
Of course. He really loves this album, and I did not like it at first when he told me to listen to it. And it took me a bit because it's like so aggressively sugary sweet and its message and the music. It sort of is like when you meet a person like that who's like really positive and bubbly and you're so like depressed that you're like, you aren't for real, like you're just annoying. And then you realize like, oh no, they're genuinely like a wonderful, beautiful person. This song also supports my thesis of positive self-talk works. I used to have really low self-esteem because I would tell myself I would joke that I didn't like myself and didn't like how I looked. And I stopped doing that, and I started to joke about how much I liked myself, and now I believe it. I'm very confident.
I will say, I mean, I understand what you mean though, because whenever it first hit my ears, I was like, this is pretty saccharine. Like, it's...
Yes.
And I was just like, I had the thought, I was like, none of my songs are very saccharine. It's okay. It's okay. But like, this is... I said in the first video, like, I like in the winter, it's like when... You know, some people... people who read books, it could never be me.
Readers, yes,
readers. Hey, readers. Like they will like pick a really hard long novel to read when it's winter because it's like they feel like I feel like that's what I do with my music, where like this is the more challenging music, because in the summertime I'm listening to prima donna, you know, I'm listening to Diet Pepsi, like that's what I'm listening to in the summertime. I'm not listening to this stuff.
I think I took the perspective of like, you know, those sad lamps that make you like, that's kind of what my section of the playlist is more reflective of, for the most part. There's a couple, there's like maybe one sad song, but like I like to listen to very, very sad music too. But for this playlist, I don't know, I just wanted some like bursts of positivity, and which I think complement each other.
Right. Actually. Yeah, we have uppers and downers.
Yeah, it's a sonically diverse playlist.
I mean, it is, but like there are some like similarities, even if like the lyrical tone is different from what.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh God, another song from our favorite era is about to be hitting the playlist. As it will. It's gonna have to be a St. Vincent song.
Of course it is. There's only one artist, well, because you said there's no Marina on this playlist, and there's only one other artist that I'm expecting besides St. Vincent.
When I first heard of St. Vincent, it was only when she had her first 2 albums out. I was in a PR program, and like PR is like really closely related to journalism. So you take a bunch of journalism classes. And so I like was subscribed to like a bunch of physical media at the time. Like I got a lot of magazines delivered to my house.
Crazy, we both had journalism school eras.
I can't say I loved it. I subscribed to a bunch of like music magazines. Annie Clark, St. Vincent was their darling. Annie Clark can do no wrong. And when she released this album, Strange Mercy, which this is the title track, it was described in such a way where I like gave her another shot, and I was like, it makes sense to me now. This whole album to me this is not gonna sound very good. No, it's like, I don't think it's gonna encourage anyone to want to listen to this album. Listening to it is almost feels like my skin is like being stretched slowly off of my body. Like that's how it feels to me when I listen to it. Like it's not like that challenging of a listen. It's just like slow and drawn out. A lot of the songs, even if like the lyrics might move faster, it's like I feel like all of the music is like being pulled through a taffy machine. That's how it feels to me. And this song specifically, I think, has like that quality to it. I like listened to this album on repeat so much. I went on a trip to New York. I listened on the flight there and like multiple times on the flight back, because it's like not a super long album. It's just like one of those albums that sticks in my head. I don't know that it's like a pleasure to listen to, but it's like when I'm in the mood for this, it like really hits. And St. Vincent's not really a belter, but like on the bridge of this song, her voice like cracks, and it's like it's such an emotional release to the song, and I like, it's just like the moment for me. It's like the moment on the album for me. I think about it a lot.
I feel like so much of your side of the playlist are like my queer blind spots, because I've because I've also never really I know more about St. Vincent, or know more of her music, than I know of like Bjork or Fiona Apple's. And I like especially that one album with the red cover that's like the New York one.
Oh yeah.
I know a lot from that. I don't know much about St. Vincent, so this is another one that
she's a curious one.
Well, and it's interesting that you mentioned she was such a darling of the music press, because now I feel like she is not.
No,
like,
she's
they
not.
do not like her.
Well, yeah, there was like a thing that happened a couple years ago when she was doing interviews for Daddy's Home, and I feel like she just was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Basically just like kind of stopped in the middle of an interview. And I see it from both sides, but
I remember that.
Ultimately I don't think she's like harmful. I think she was just like, I'm kind of tired of this. And it was like also 2021, so everyone was like, yeah, maybe you are tired of this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it.
I get the skin thing.
Yeah. right. It's like, it's so like, it's almost like itchy feeling where it's just like, oh, I need it to go. Like I need it to
why
go.
Why is it so slow?
Yeah. There was actually, and this exhibit I just saw around my birthday. There's this museum in
Because Tom
Pittsburgh
loves
called
museums.
famously. I went to the Mattress Factory, which is like one of it's like that's like the artsiest of the museums. It's like the one that has like the weird exhibits. And there was this exhibit that was I saw it immediately. I was like a trans person did I was like I knew immediately. It was like silicone skin on machines being like stretched and pulled and like things were being injected into it. And I was like,
Yep.
yeah. I was like, oh, a trans person was here. It actually made Tiff so uncomfortable. They had to leave the room that it was in immediately, and I was like, I loved it.
And you just sat and stayed a while.
Yeah. I was like, there are two types of trans people. There's the one who's gonna live in this, and there's the one who's like, I can't look at this anymore, and I have to leave. I can't wait to hear your next one.
All right, my next one is actually probably the most recent song that's going to be on this playlist because it just came out.
Oh,
and it's by one Lauren Mayberry. Have you listened to Churches at all? Yeah. Okay.
The mother. I know someone. I know. Am I a Nicki fan?
Stop! Churches is my favorite band, which I have mentioned several times on my channel. I love them. And I love Lauren, who's the lead singer of the band. And she just came out with her first solo album ever. And it's marvelous. It's called Vicious Creature. Everyone should go listen to it. I love it. And I was debating whether I wanted to put one of my favorite Churches song on this playlist or if I wanted to do one of the new Lauren ones. And I decided on this one just because there's something really beautiful and like starry night cinematic about this one. It samples Praise You by Slim Boy Fat Slim Boy?
Fat Boy Slim?
Knew that was not going to go well for me.
I mean, Jules talking about Fat Boy. You know.
1, 2, grapefruit. Anyway, so it samples that song. And I don't know, it's just like a gorgeous pop song. The bridge is incredible. It's an incredible bridge. And I love the way Lauren writes in Churches and now with her solo stuff. She approaches kind of the subject of femininity really in an interesting way, in a way I relate to, and kind of some of the societal struggles around that. And I don't know, the song just feels like at the end of like a really amazing movie when like the heroine is walking down dark city street and kind of reveling in her chaos. That's kind of what the song's giving, and I love it.
Big girl walking down the street.
The dumbest street? Is that what I said?
No. I was making a Darien Lake reference, so continue.
I can't believe I didn't get that. Darien Lake?
Yeah, big girl walking down
I know her. Okay.
You were giving imagery of walking down the street, and then that's immediately what came to my head was because I'm a faggot, you know. Big girl walking.
Are you gay?
No. 1, 2, grapefruit. You know what I mean? Egg.
Okay, this is going off the deep end.
Sorry.
It's a good song.
Go back
You should listen to it.
Yeah, I should listen to it. I like knew that this happened because I feel like Lauren Mayberry is one of the music industry's darlings.
As she should be.
I like a lot of what I've heard of Churches.
I love Churches. Green Violence is an incredible album. All their albums are great, but especially that one.
Yeah, and it's really cool whenever someone does a solo project and doesn't sound anything like their other project.
Yes.
And this really doesn't sound like a Churches song at all.
It's pretty like the whole album is pretty distinct, and it's kind of her exploring genres she's always wanted to do, which is cool. Her voice is also just so great.
That's really pretty. I like that. Thank God for Slim Boy Fat, you know?
I don't even know if you're making a joke or not because I don't remember his name.
Yeah. Okay. So
these are the last two songs.
Yeah, this is my last song. This is my last contribution.
Before the encore.
No encore.
We're not doing an encore.
We're going back to the 90s.
And we'll stay there, actually.
We've come full circle. We started in the 90s. We're ending in the 90s. Song that I have chosen. I don't know if you'll be familiar with this because the song was sampled I guess probably more than half a decade ago.
Recently.
sort of. But it's Glory Box by Portishead or Portishead. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But they were like the ultimate trip hop band in my head from like the 90s. There are
Back
other
to trip
ones
hop.
back to oh yeah, I brought it all the way back around. I've always loved this song, but I didn't know it until I was like older. You know how you have those moments where you like we lived in an era where like American Idol was a thing, but then also LimeWire was a thing, so you could like actually try to like find music that you'd never really been introduced to because other people in my family are not music people. Like they're not like I didn't grow up listening to anything specific. Because you know like a lot of people will have like parents who like were into the Beatles and you listen to the Beatles or Michael Jackson.
Mhm.
Like we like had there was no distinct division for like music in the house. So like I had to really do my own thing. I loved American Idol. I loved American Idol so much that I also would it was like LimeWire, but the other thing it was bigger files. It was also file sharing, but it would be like you could do like movies and stuff. I can't remember what the name it was like the general name of it. But I can't remember what it was called. Anyway, I was watching Canadian Idol. I was downloading episodes of Canadian Idol and Australian Idol, and Chanel Cole was on Australian Idol. And for her semifinals performance in the second season of the show was this song,
Right.
and it really stuck with me because this song's also about femininity, but also kind of like really relishing it. My brain doesn't do connections. I'm just like, I'm sad, I'm happy. Like that's how music resonates with me. I don't get like too into it unless it's about relationships.
Me either.
Yeah, no, couldn't be
No.
you.
Never.
Couldn't be you. But this is another slow song.
We're asleep.
But I can't remember the woman's name who's the lead singer of this band. She actually just released a solo project this year, and it was like it was really good. Her voice is really distinct. I love when people sing in such a way where it's like they're not getting louder, but you can feel the emotion shift. Like I love that, where it's just like there's a tonal shift that happens in her voice where you're just like, oh, okay, that's where we are, and like while we're singing this portion, it's really really great. But it's really feminine, and it's such a good song. I've loved it now for almost 20 years, but I think the song is from the 90s.
I should go listen to it now.
Yeah, I thought that's what you had started it already, but
okay, the song's definitely been sampled.
Yeah, it was Alessia Cara here was the song that sampled it.
Yes, I've definitely heard that before, and I like it a lot.
It was a big deal song.
Yeah,
in the 90s, but like critically, not like commercially. I feel.
I mean, it has like almost 300 million streams on Spotify now.
Because it's that girl.
It is that girl.
It is that girl.
I love that. You know who else is that girl?
Alanis Morissette.
Oh, good guess. And I thought you were going to put a Mitski song on here for sure, and I'm shocked.
Oh, well, because everyone knows.
Right. No, actually, Mariah Carey.
Oh!
Yeah. The gag of the playlist. Mariah Carey's coming.
What? Wow. Okay. Where are we going?
First, I'm so curious. What's your Mariah Carey experience? Do you know much of her music?
Oh, I mean, I have a lot of respect for Mariah Carey, and I think she's really, really talented, but I'm not like much like Judy Garland. A lot of gamers of my era really loved Mariah Carey in a way that
So you're not a lamb.
Ah! Don't you?
Was that triggering?
I think I do prefer a less popular version of Mariah. Like I like early Mariah, like Visions of Love. You know, like I like when we're doing the singing.
This is not that. This is in her bag R&B Mariah. And I thought it was appropriate because like Mariah is the queen of Christmas. This is not a Mariah Christmas song, however.
Okay.
This is from her best album, in my opinion, her magnum opus, Butterfly, which I think is far and away her best album. And it's the last song on the album. It's called Outside. And if you're
a deep cut. So not even like a
no, it's a deep cut. Well, yeah. It's a deep cut if you're not a Mariah Carey fan. Like among her fan base, this is like probably most people's like one of their top 10, top 5 Mariah songs.
Okay.
To the general public, not so much. And you're not going to believe it, but this song, to me, can be about being trans. Although, actually, what it's written about is
off of the album Butterfly? Wow.
But actually, it's really interesting because she wrote it about her experience growing up biracial and not really having an identity in either the Black or the white community growing up, and like the pain that caused her. And there's also like a lot of weirdness that went on with the press with Mariah about whether she was Black and what, like, just weird stuff that was kind of invalidating. And the song is just like, it's so sad because it's once again one of those songs that's about like a really hard subject that has no resolution. And it's not like, but there's hope out there. Like it's basically just like, you'll always be somewhere on the outside. And then song ends. And it's very sad. Among her fan base, it's also taken on a meeting since so many, as you mentioned, so many queer people love Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
It's also taken off about the experience of coming out and the experience of finding who you are and your sexuality or your gender identity. And it was a very key song when I came out as trans that I listened to a lot because it's about there not being a place that you feel like you belong in, like you're neither here nor there, which I think specifically like relates to being trans non-binary. It's interesting because it's not the Mariah I guess you love that's like belting. Like this is very much like quiet, probably where Ariana Grande gets like her whisper mumble singing. Like she is like it's cursive. Like she does belt a lot of like some at the end and it's very like a cathartic like, but I've like cried to the song. I love this song and it's off her best most personal album.
Well, you cry.
I cry. I cry.
I'm gonna hit play. I like the song Vanishing, which I feel like is a very slow build until the very end.
Vanishing goes hard.
This was an album closer.
And this album is so sad.
What if you put Miracle, the collab, the feature, the Whitney Houston?
When You Believe?
From the Prince of Egypt? Is that what it's called?
When You Believe. Yeah.
Oh, I'm also very famous for not actually knowing the name of the song and being like, it's just the first couple words of the chorus, actually.
It would have been funny if I just put All I Want for Christmas Is You. It's the end of this playlist.
That'd be so crazy. Like, it's not like we did a very good job keeping it tonally similar.
I think I'm going to enjoy listening to it.
As will everyone. Merry Christmas.
Merry Clovemas.
I'm sorry. Merry Messmas. Merry Messmas.
Oh! We will respect Mariah Carey's pen.
And I will. But Mariah Carey week on American Idol. I don't know what.
I remember
that. That was really good. I was actually, and she's not a good person, and I know that. But I was listening to my YouTube music. Christy Lee Cook's cover of Forever. I have like the studio version. Do y'all remember Christy Lee Cook?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. I bought her first album.
The song Forever. I love
it's a good song. Forever. The real version and Christy Lee Cook's version is actually quite good.
Often in frequent conversation with each other.
Right. No, and those are the conversations that you can find on my channel.
Just sort the videos by least viewed.
Someone commented on a very old video of mine and it had like 90 views and I was like, okay, so no one's seen this.
Oh no. You're like, I haven't seen this. And I was like,
I don't even remember editing that, honey.
Well, that's a playlist. We did it.
That's a playlist.
I think it's a good playlist. I'm proud of it.
Oh, I think you're gonna learn a lot about trans people.
Us, mainly.
In the playlist. I mean, we should call it the trans playlist.
I already have a playlist on Spotify called For the Trans Girls, if anyone's curious.
Drop that one. Drop that one in the description box, too. It's on Spotify or is it on YouTube Music?
It's on Spotify. Just so everyone knows, I'm a YouTube Music user now because I like to save money.
If the user interface wasn't so hot garbage awful,
it's terrible.
I would use it. Yeah. I would use it, but it is bad. And listen,
no, you love yourself, and that's important.
Hey, right. Never said a bad thing about myself. Love me. Love my body. No, love everything. Love my job.
Grapefruit.
Play us out, Tuvalu. We don't have the rights. You're monetized now. You can't.
How are we going to end this video?
It's your video.
No.
So do you want me to go away?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Do you want me to? Thank you so much for watching this.
I was just taking a moment. No. I was taking a moment to reflect on the beautiful journey we've shared. It's a miracle we recorded this video. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, it was dark when we started. Well, it's dark now, but it was like darker when we started.
I was not in a good place physically.
No, I really thought you were gonna be like, we have to do this another day. Like I really thought we were like this close to that.
It was one screw up away from that, but just like the beautiful trans people we are, we persevered, and we built a playlist that will make you cry.
And it will not be my fault. It'll be Cam's fault.
Oh. Oh,
Because I put very beautiful,
interesting.
uplifting music. I described the song as stretching the skin off of your body. So get ready.
No, didn't you say the most happy song you put on this was that Leslie Hunt song?
Yeah, and it's also a little bit. It's a little bit on the,
All right.
edge.
Thank y'all so much for watching.
I'll see myself out.
Yeah, get out. Thank
you
so much for watching. Give this video a like. It helps me a lot in the wild, wild west of the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you want to see future videos. I should have a good bit coming from Clovemas, but Tom and I don't know when we're posting this, so this could be the end. You could still have a couple of videos left. I'm not sure. And yeah, thank you all so much for being here. We're going to be okay. Bye.